The United Nations Security Council has unanimously approved a statement backing preparatory talks on key issues to restore peace to Syria. That's the headline. But the real story lies in the details and what lies ahead for the embattled country. And that is far less clear. The biggest beneficiary of Syria's civil war so far has been Islamic State. The extremist group has expanded its territory in Iraq and Syria and is collecting millions of dollars through the sale of oil, taxation and extortion. That success, it seems, is what has brought the United States, Russia and Saudi Arabia, among others, to align on a possible Syrian future, one that may or may not include the country's President Bashar al-Assad. For more, we turn to our newsroom and CCTV's Sean Caleb. Sean, bring us up to date.
Yeah, Nathan, you're exactly right. This is a significant development. For the past 2 years, the United States has been the leading voice demanding that President Assad must step down from power, while Russia has been unflinching in its support of Assad. Now, throughout that time, the only clear winner in this ongoing tragedy in Syria has been the Islamic State, with ISIL troops now controlling nearly half of the country. Now, the United Nations has come up with a statement for a future framework of Syria. As part of a peace plan, nations sharply divided over Assad's role, the U.S., Russia, and Saudi Arabia are all agreeing they must focus on ISIL first, and then let a Syrian-led political process craft the country's future.
More fighting in Syria, more bloodshed between Syrian government troops and rebels intent on driving President Bashar al-Assad from power.
We started our attack since early dawn, and we were first able to liberate this two-story house where, thank God, we killed many soldiers.
But there's been a flurry of activity in diplomatic circles as well. Friends and foes of Assad believe they must find a way to stop the bloodshed and keep the Islamic State from becoming further entrenched in the region. Russia is the Syrian government's strongest supporter, and while Saudi Arabia remains one of Assad's harshest critics, Russia has been able to draw Saudi Arabia to the bargaining table in an effort to find a way out of the chaos that started in March of 2011.
Bashar al-Assad does not pose any threat to any of the neighboring countries, but the Islamic State poses a threat to Iraq, to Syria, to Saudi Arabia.
Years of fighting has displaced half the country's population and claimed at least 250,000 lives. Saudi Arabia is making it clear, while the kingdom is willing to listen to Russian proposals, it is unbending on a key issue, the fate of the Syrian president.
Syrian President Assad has no place in the future of Syria, but we have underlined the necessity of retaining the state.
Diplomats are praising the work by the United Nations Security Council, saying it is allowing the world body to speak with one voice, while all sides can agree the Islamic State is the one common enemy. Less clear is what President Assad's role will be in the future as Syria's political process runs its course. Nathan?
Well, Sean, one voice in the Security Council, but on the ground there are many different voices still battling on. Is this diplomacy, this flurry of diplomacy, likely to make any difference going forward on the ground?
Well, we're going to have to look and see what happens first. We know that this action by the UN Security Council is supposed to take effect in September, and it's really focusing on 4 key issues. One, safety, the political process, legal process, and reconstruction of the country. But you're exactly right. It's much different when diplomats get together and try and hash out things as opposed to what happens down on the ground. Think back just a few years ago when the Arab Spring was unfolding and everybody thought this could be a tremendous change for the region, perhaps bring democracy, peace into the area. Well, that certainly didn't happen. Now it is completely chaotic. Right now they want to focus simply everybody's attention on the Islamic State, still recruiting hundreds, if not thousands of young men and some young women every month. So this is a chance to focus on one common enemy and then tackle perhaps another very difficult problem down the road.